this is going to be the first of my videos regarding the 2015 general election. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is voting. I think that young people have a duty to vote in the general election. I go around and I talk to young people all the time about oh, are you going to vote in the next general election? Like, oh no, oh I'm not that interested in it. Oh, I don't think I'll make a difference. I say, well, if 100 years ago people had felt that their vote didn't make a difference, then no one would have changed anything. There wouldn't have been any change. Women would now not have the vote. Women would never have been given the vote, and the only men that could vote would have been those who were over 30. Young people wouldn't have been given the vote. So it goes right back. You have to look at it from a historical framework. That if those who don't vote, and especially in this general election, if you don't vote in this general election, which is one of the most important general elections this country's had in the last 30 years, this will decide the fate and the future of our country, whether we frame it around market-orientated economy, or whether we have a socially democratic government who care for the population as a whole and the general welfare of the population. I think that for those who want to follow the Russell Brand line, that voting only supplements a system which is broken, well, of course you have a right to express that. But don't be dismayed when the government, if the Conservatives get in the next general election and you haven't voted, and if you'd have found out that you could have voted and changed the outcome, well then that is it. You're going to have to deal with that outcome there. And that is why I go around saying, look, it doesn't matter if you vote loony. It doesn't even matter if you go there and scribble up the ballot, but put none of the above. But you need to go out and vote. It only takes 60 seconds to vote. It really is. People are like, oh, it rained the day. It rained on voting day. Oh, I can't go. Oh, I don't really feel like it today. I can't be bothered. Well, you only get one chance, and now we've got 5-year parliaments, 5 years, fixed term, and this is another point. I don't think people actually realise that the government extended how long they were going to be in power for by a year. I mean, okay, they told everybody when the general election was going to be, but they gave themselves an extra year in power. The coalition government, the 5-year fixed term act, 2011. It was rushed through at the start of the coalition, and the population, I go around knocking on doors, and the population, the large majority of the people that I knock on, don't even know that there was a 5-year fixed term. I remember going on last year that, oh, well, it's the general election this year, is it? And I'm like, no, it's not. There's a 5-year fixed term, which the government introduced to, according to them, make the population aware of when the general election was and the fact that they couldn't manipulate the election to suit their own means. But the way I see it is, A, it gives them an extra year in power, and B, fixed term parliaments, if it's a coalition, which it might possibly be, the coalition may be the outcome of the next general election. If you have a fixed term, then the coalition government has to survive that 5 years. The last time we had in the Labour Party a pact with the Lib Lab Pact in the late 1970s, that only lasted 2 years. I was rather surprised that the coalition government governing the country at the moment actually managed to survive as long as it did. I actually thought that the parties were, Liberal Democrats and the Conservative parties, had fundamental differences in ideology. But alas, it seems that they have many, many, many similarities. I don't know whether you remember the quote that Nick Clegg gave, or we have to find something that we disagree on during the televised debates in 2010. I would also like to highlight the fact that if you do not take part in the democratic process by voting, you can take part online. You can tweet, you can use hashtags, you can have change.org, 38 degrees pressure groups, you have e-petitions, you can write write emails and letters to MPs. I mean, any kind of involvement is better than no involvement. I mean, for example, I'll give you a personal example of mine. A polling station near my local constituency was due to be closed, and we mounted a campaign. We asked the residents whether they actually wanted to walk 40-minute walk to get to the polling station on a road with no pavement to use, and surprisingly they said no, we'd like to keep our polling station. So we mounted that campaign, and we won in the end. And so it does matter, and change can happen. And I really don't agree with the cynics who say oh it doesn't change anything. All it does is swap between the two main political parties. Well, change starts from the bottom up, not from the top down. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll be uploading another video hopefully within the next week.